Greetings, greetings, greetings. Once again, my sports to the bone people. Welcome back to another video. So in this one, I have two things in particular that I want us to take a look at. So the World Test Championship final is up and running. And at the end of day one, we would have seen Travis Head and Steve Smith combining to put Australia in a very strong position. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, there's some information that I saw a couple days ago. But because of the West Indies versus UAE game, I didn't want to touch on it as yet. And, it has to do with some information coming out that it's highly likely that the West Indies and Cricket USA or the US will not get the opportunity to host the 2024 T20 World Cup as planned. So we're gonna go in at my peeps and let you hear exactly why that is. So just give a listening ear until the end and let me know what you think in the comment section. Alright, so I'm gonna kick things off with the World Test Championship final. And I must say that, I have enjoyed every ball of it so far. It was definitely a good watch. Day one that is, was definitely a good watch. And at the close of play, Australia finished off on 327 for 3 in 85 overs. Very good batting, my peeps. Very, very good batting. 327 for 3. Now, India, they started off well with the ball. They got Usman Khawaja, he didn't score. Then they got David Warner in the 40s. But after that, Marnus Lamashane went also. I think he made 20 something. And after that, Steve Smith and Travis Head. They just turned the entire thing on its head, my peeps. I tell you, the Indians, they were really working up a plan against Steve Smith, but it didn't work. So based on what I saw, the plan was for them to bowl as straight as possible to him, try to get him not to play on the offside, and then every now and again they would slide a ball across the off stump to get him to probably drive loosely or something, So I guess the plan was to try and trap him on the back foot as usual, because we know he walks across the stump, and then they were trying to push the ball across him to get him to nick off, but it didn't work. It didn't work, my peeps. It was vintage Steve Smith. But before I give you Steve Smith, some more about Steve Smith, Travis Head, he came in and he scored what was almost a runner ball century. He ended the day on 146 off 156 deliveries. He was unstoppable, my peeps. 146 off 156 deliveries. Steve Smith is there with him on 95 of 227 deliveries. Solid as a rock. I tell my viewers, Mohammad Siraj and Mohammad Shami, they were working up the pace. They were getting the deliveries to do one and two things. But, it was difficult to roll over Steve Smith. The man was solid out there, my peeps. I tell you, it was a good opening day of Test cricket, In India getting the better of them in the first session, and then Australia fighting back. So David Warner, he made 43 off 60 before he was removed. Usman Khawaja, he didn't score, as I said. Marnus Lamashane, he made 26 off 62. And we have Steve Smith not out on 95. And Travis Head is still there on 146. Now, in terms of the bowling for India, Mohammad Shami, 20 overs, 1 wicket for 77 runs. Mohammad Siraj, 19 overs, 67 runs, 1 wicket. We have Yadav, 14 overs, 54 runs, no wicket. Thakur, 18 overs, 75 runs, 1 wicket. And Ravindra Jadeja, 14 overs, 48 runs, no wicket. You understand? He was welcomed to the crease very politely by Steve Smith. He sent him for a couple lusty blows, and then he was back to his solid defensive best. So, Australia looking good, my viewers and subscribers. They're looking good. But, it's 5 days of Test cricket, so one day, you can't use one day to judge anything, you know. So we're going to continue to monitor the series, the final, to see how it goes. So, you know, I would say day one, I give, you know, Australia, they are probably in a better position right now. So that is how it went on day one. All right, quickly moving on. This one is a little bit closer to home. And taking this one from Sportskeeda, the headline says 2024 T20 World Cup likely to be moved from the West Indies and the USA. ICC to approach England to host based on reports. Now, this is not good. This is not good, you know, especially for the Caribbean. You know, we were definitely looking forward to seeing some cricket in the Caribbean. You can imagine that the fans wanted, you know, we're looking forward to see some of the top cricketers around the world coming to play what they call the most exciting game these days. So, you know, it is still not yet confirmed, but based on how things sounds, seems as if the US they haven't you know, the grounds and everything that they need, the facilities, let us just say the facilities, seems as if the facilities to host, they are not, you know, not in place. So let me go down in the article and hear what it is saying. So the article says the 2024 edition of the T20 World Cup will likely be moved out of the West Indies and the USA due to the allegedly poor progress of infrastructure in the region. The ICC is reportedly considering its options, and you know, they say in earnest since the tournament is set to begin next year. You know, early next year. So things, according to them, things not going as planned. Let us go down tonight some more and see if we can get exact. One of the avenues being discussed is swapping the host nations of the 2024 and the 2030 editions as per the schedule. So England, Ireland and Scotland will host the T20 World Cup in 2030, but their time could come a little early or a little sooner due to the current circumstances. So they say, while the Caribbean has stadiums that have hosted matches in the past, this is the first time that the USA has been handed such a high-profile cricket event. Can you imagine these people trying to develop their cricket based on what they are saying, and ICC trying to push the cricket on them, and then they get something as high-profile as the World Cup and we hearing them sort of foolishness? Because I am sure that the Caribbean would do what needs to be done to get their act together. But if we are co-hosting, the US needs to get their thing together. You understand? So let me go down tonight some more. So it say England hosted the T20 World Cup in 2009 and naturally would have the venues ready to host you know, such a mega scale of event. And they say, should England, Ireland and Scotland undertake the task of hosting the 2024 edition, it would give the US ample time to wrap up their infrastructure work, right, and all of that. So I am happy how they are making sure we understand that it is not necessarily the Caribbean, the island people that causing the problem. We have the venues, and you know, I'm sure there's going to need some upgrade and all of that, but that can be done. You understand? So it's really not a good look though, to see that the US, they are trying to build their cricket profile and they get such a high profile thing, and then you know they allow ICC to have the egg on their face. You know, so one thing I know, cricket is a growing sport over here in the US. So you know, not a lot of people can see the potential, but not a lot of people are quick to run and invest in it. You understand? So one quote that I'm seeing here is, there is a situation at hand. The current infrastructure situation in the USA is not very encouraging, and it is likely ICC could well swap the host from the 2024 to 2030 between England, Scotland, and thing, with the region, with West Indies and the USA. So we're going to continue to watch this because, as I said, the ICC, they are pushing this whole cricket thing in the USA. So I don't know. Apparently they think there's money to be had there. So we're going to continue to track it, my viewers and subscribers, and keep you all up to date as it relates to how this whole thing will go down. So go and big up on yourself, and I will be in the comment section to hear what you all have to say about this one. Big up.